Hey guys, I have a little technical difficulty. Hang on one moment here. The camera that I want to be on is not working. I know. Hmm. Having some issues again with this camera. I don't know what to tell you. I guess we could do it like this. This will work. How about this? Morning, Trade Pros. Welcome to our morning market update. The other camera did not work, and so I just unplug it. It's not a pain in the butt. You know what? Let's just do it like this. I'm fine with it. If you guys are fine with it, hope you've had a great weekend and a great time with your families and great time. Enjoying some time off of what we do here in the market. All right. So this week we have a busy week ahead of us. I had a fun time. I had some great time off. I got my skate sharpener yesterday, or not yesterday, but last week, and I've been sharpening my skates with it a couple times. I played hockey pretty much every day since. It's really cool. It's like a home sharpener. You put your skate in it, and it just goes bzzz, and it cuts it. And it came with a little tool that's called the edge checker. I tried it on my strategy, and it worked. I have edge. All right, so it's December 8th. It's Monday. Marco, that's a great way to spend the weekend. A lot of dancing is an awesome way to spend the weekend. All right, 17 trading sessions left in 2025. That is including today. All right, stock futures are higher this morning, marginally higher. They're about 13 points off of the prior day cash close. All right, Mag 7's mostly unchanged for the day, and except for Tesla's the one that's down the most, 1.3% downgrade from Morgan Stanley will do that to the stock. That's down, but futures across the board are slightly green. S&P 500 futures up 0.1%, Nasdaq up 0.2%, Russell up 0.4%. All right, rates are unchanged. Big week for rates coming up right now at the Federal Reserve. Commodities, oil's down 1%, gold's flat, copper is up 0.2%, new all-time high again. And crypto is up 3.5% on Bitcoin, Ethereum up 4.5% or 4% rather. All right, today is the last kind of important jobs report before the Fed, and I don't know if the Fed's going to look at this report from today. We're going to get JOLTS. All right, sorry, not today. That's tomorrow. JOLTS. The FOMC meeting starts tomorrow. The announcement will be Wednesday at 2 p.m. All right, and it is single-handedly the most important event of the week. I really dislike FOMC weeks where there's actually going to be policy change and not just meeting minutes, but a policy change and a decision on rates. It throws everything off. Tuesday, the meeting begins. Wednesday, it's announced. All right, so Tuesday, volatility slows down. Wednesday, it's pretty much morning. You have some stuff, but it's dead in terms of volatility, especially around the holidays. Most people will take tomorrow off. All right, Wednesday off. And then Thursday kind of returns volatility, but then you only got one day left in the week. I don't know. I don't like it, sadly, though, but this is the reality. All right, we do get JOLTS tomorrow. It's basically showing job opening labor turnover survey. It's a look at the jobs report. And then Wednesday is the announcement. So tomorrow, Tuesday, we get JOLTS plus the FOMC meeting begins. Wednesday's the big decision day. Market's pricing in an 87% chance of a 25 basis point cut. So it's more than likely going to get done. It's a foregone conclusion. We're going to get the cut. The reaction isn't going to be to the rate cut. The rate cut's priced in. All right. This will be the second consecutive cut, but it's a messy meeting, all right? The Fed is deeply divided internally. There's a new Fed chair coming on board in May. Donald Trump's going to say to announce in January who that's going to be. The Fed's divided. There's going to be a lot of dissent, all right? So it could be a rate cut with a lot of dissent in the future, and the new Fed chair is not taking over until May, end of May, early June of next year. So this dissent is going to last another half year, all right? The dot plot is expected to show 2 more cuts in 2026, all right, but with major disagreements. So this dot plot will probably be the least uniform, most disorganized dot plot you'll ever see. Dot plot, basically, a little series of dots projected out in the future to see where the rates will be. Not how many cuts there will be, but where the rates will end up being, or where the Fed voting members see the rates being. And based on that, you can see what their cut predictions are. All right, so the dot plot's going to come out. Major disagreements and dissents expected there. All right. Delayed government data is going to add some uncertainty to this Fed meeting. All right, and Trump's upcoming Fed chair pick is also a major wild card. All right, so here's the market impact. If we're going to do a whole Fed thing on Wednesday, but a clean dovish tone means the bond yields will be down, all right, and US dollar gets weaker, and tech and gold are higher. And a cut with heavy dissent, meaning nobody agrees with it, but just enough people to do a cut, but everything's all over the board, and the Fed's about to get into a physical fight internally, well, you're going to get volatility. You're going to get volatility all over the place, and you're going to see yield curve flattening is what's going to happen. And then lastly, if Powell pushes back on 2026 cuts, if it's a hawkish cut, as they call it, meaning you're getting a cut, but it's not great for you in the future because we're open, we're live, and we may not get any cuts in 2026. If it's some tone like that, it's very extreme. The market will go down quite a bit, even though it gets a cut. So if you don't understand the complexity of the Fed, if any of that just boggled your mind, then you shouldn't be trading the news of the Fed. I don't trade the news of the Fed, and I get all this crap. I don't care about the Fed and what their decision making is. It's more of an economics report than it is a trading report. All right, so that's that. Wednesday's a big day of the week. All right. Then we can move on to the trading stuff because that's all I had for you today in terms of the economic news. There's not much. It's a quiet start to the week and a quiet weekend, aside from the fact that I got the spark sharpener. I gotta get them to pay me for saying it on there, but it's been a quiet weekend. I made the news for getting the skate sharpener, but other than that, nothing else. All right, so let's take a look at the options side of things. The biggest resistance on the options front is 6,900. That is our call wall. Where's my mouse? It's right here. That is our call wall, and you can see it here. It is circled 6,900 here, rather. All right, and then above that, you have the 69, 12, and 15. And then below that, you have around the 68.60. So we are kind of, price is already sandwiched in between there. All right. Those are supports on the options front. Now, if you look at overall sentiment, let's go one chart to the left. I don't want to go to volume profile today. I'm not really the biggest proponent of volume profile. I do check it out once in a while. But yeah, for skates, Marco, you're the one that would benefit from it. It's around $1,700 for the whole bundle, but it comes with a whole bunch of stuff. It's the essentials bundle I think I got. I regret not paying a little bit more. It was $1,400 actually. I regret not paying like $300 more to get the step up bundle. And yeah, it's really good, man. I've sharpened my whole family's skates. It's not about the money, it's about the time spent waiting for 4 people. I know how it goes, Marco, trust me. For 4 people to sharpen skates takes forever. All right, then you got to talk to the rink people, and you can't hermit. All right, so let's go to the left. Send me a DM in the room if you want, Marco. We'll chat about it. Send you some details. Look at the chart here on the left. You see we had some pretty big downside here start November and into kind of the end of November, the third week of November, we bottom out. And since we've put in a higher high, we've officially transitioned to a bullish structure here in the market. So I like the upside. I like the bull side of the market a lot. All right, now, Friday, let's go into a little bit more of granular price action. I'm going to expand this. Let's see what it looks like on the screen. It looks very bad. It looks like an empty screen because I'm not sharing it all because it's ultra wide and YouTube is not going to like it. How about I go like this for you guys? How about this? How about this? How about this? Come on. Come on. Oh, yeah. There we go. Oh, my face is covering it. All right, let's go the other way. And then we will... Let's go the other way. The other way is a safe way. Okay, good. All right, so here is the deal, if you will. All right, so here is where you see the yellow line. This is basically the prior U.S. session. So the deal is this then. All right, Friday we sold off to 68.66 half. We actually did that twice. We almost matched that low. All right, and into the close of the session we found that low. And that's significant because then we rallied. Sorry, we put the low in. In the afternoon. But look at this. Right before the market opened, there was a little dump in recovery. All right, and then we rallied up to 6,900. We broke above it. The high there was 69.05 even. Then we sold off back to the open. All right, we gave up those gains, but we were able to hold the open as support, and we only broke it twice, which formed the low. All right, and ultimately, we ended up closing price, which says PDCC, the black thing here, We ended up closing price just about 2.5 to 3 points higher than the open. So we huffed. The downside got erased quick, wiped out the stops. The upside couldn't really hold, and we gave up the gains. We huffed and we puffed, but we kind of closed where we began. So no real advancement. All right, so then this here to the right is today's price action, overnight as we call it. ETH, extended trading hours for the newer kids. Globex for the ones that have been doing this forever, the dinosaurs like me. All right. What up, Prashant, my brother? Hope you're well, sir. So look, overnight high, we push higher than, in the session. So we are starting to set a bullish structure overnight. We hold the prior day cash close as support. That's good. The overnight low is higher than the prior day low. And the overnight high, however, is lower than the prior day high. What does that tell you this is? Think about it for a second. Overnight low is higher than the prior day low. Overnight high is lower than the prior day high. This is called an inside day. Inside days tend to lead to a little bit more range-based trading. All right. It stinks. I know you probably don't want to hear this. And this is why I hate Fed weeks. Because if we go range bound today and don't do anything significant, tomorrow is definitely going to be a quieter day. Wednesday morning's a bust because we're all waiting for the Fed. So you have now half of a day realistically, which is Tuesday or Monday rather. Tuesday's like, so there's one day between the three. Wednesday's not really tradable. And then Thursday you pick it up, and Friday. So you have 2.5 days for a 5-day week heading into holiday weeks where they're all going to be shortened after next week, and you only have 17 trading sessions to end the year. So we're very slowly building the case here for, very, very slowly building the case here for, I lost my thought because I checked the comment, for taking some time off. That's what I was getting to around the holidays. All right. Now that I have a skate sharpener, I got to get out there more. I got to justify the price. Escape myself to death just to justify an $1,800, $1,700 expense. Okay, so we have an inside day. Why is the 30-second OR important? Pencho, I used to trade the OR 30 and the OR 5 minute. So to me, it's open because it's kind of like, it's important rather because that opening drive is very important and sets the tone a lot of times for the day. In fact, you'll find that the order flow within the first minute or so reveals a lot of information for the first trade that has major moves for the day. And that's the only one that I really get to get because I only trade 1 hour. I trade from 9:30 to 10:30. After 10:30, if I'm trading, something's gone terribly wrong for me. All right, so because, the opening auction is so important, I love to see the levels on the 30-second as well. And then the 5-minute is the more traditional one. So that's why they're important for me. And I study it in relation to where the move is around the open. So like you can see the 30-second for the past week was, you could see the low was just below the open and the high was higher. Gave you indication right there. See this, the opening drive retest that you're going to get this rally. All right, a lot of the times the first 30 seconds is ignored by a lot of traders, but these are the most important orders that are about to move the market revealing themselves. So there's no benefit to you ignoring it. So I love to get the 30-second OR. All right, great question. So we have an inside day today. We've already established that because overnight high is lower than prior day high. Overnight low is higher than the prior day low. Puts us in a range. We haven't had too much advancement, but, and there is a big but, and it's not mine because I play a lot of hockey now, so I'm losing weight. But, and I also know that's not how you spell but let's have some fun with it. The big bet is the fact that it's Monday. This is the Sunday overnight session. Not a big deal that it hasn't advanced too much. We're still hopeful. So the levels that I'm looking for personally I'm looking for the bulls to regain 6,900 and bid above it and go to like 6,915 and keep moving up. Right, around 6,960 is the all-time high. I don't know if we get there today, but I want to see it get above 6,900 and hold. All right, or if not, I'd like to see a pullback where I wrote the pullback to 64.68. I know it's far. I know it's low. Wait, and I don't want the pullback to 64.68. Okay, let's start this over. The first trade would be to either get long off of a 6,900 break or to fade it if it fails. That's the first area in trade I like. All right, the second will be a pullback. The pullback is a little difficult to me, but I like it around like the 82. All right, that one would be really nice. And ultimately, if we get below 68, this is what I call my flip zone. Flip zone meaning I don't really want to be too much of a buyer if we get below there. All right, I'll find good areas to buy as long as we're above, but then below there you start to break structure. You're below the prior day low, which was Friday. You're getting into a breakdown of the upward structure temporarily. All right. Now remember, all of this is great. I like levels, but I don't. It's so hard to pick levels these days. Say this is where I'm going to trade. I leave it more to the market to tell me where I should trade. And how do I know where to trade? Where there's a big imbalance, where there's a big opportunity. A lack of balance is an imbalance. An imbalance is an opportunity that creates a trade. Right? I don't want to put trades at balance. You're not going to get movement. There's no probability there. So I kind of want to wait to see an order flow level, but this is kind of what I'm thinking in my head. This is the sentiment. This is the overview and the bias build of the market. Now let's see what's supported by the real-time order flow. All right, if you guys have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I'm about to end it there. Oh, I was going to tell you this. For the holidays, so today is the 8th. We're going to have morning market update all the way through to the Friday on the 12th. All right, I'm going to do it Monday and Tuesday of next week as well. The 17th, I'm actually hitting a drive, 24-hour, 23-hour drive from South Florida to Toronto on snow tires. All right. I'm probably not going to go through the Vermont mountains just because I don't want any unexpected weather with snow tires and the AMG that has like 600 horses. It spins out on summer tires very easily. It's great traction, great grip, but it's more rear power drive, and on summer tires and snow, not the greatest. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm going to be driving up to Toronto to see family and stuff on the 17th probably. And, I'll just be driving and probably not even watching the market. So maybe next week, 16th, I'll let you know exactly when, but we'll probably be the last one for that week. Or maybe I'll pop in and give you the news before I hit the road from the hotel for another day of driving, because I split the drive in 2 days when I do it by myself. All right. That's a lot more info than you needed. And then the week following that, not next week, but the week following that, it's Christmas. All right. Like the Thursday the 25th. So what do we want to do? You want to trade 22nd, 23rd? Maybe. I would prefer to just say 22nd to 26th. We take that off. All right. And 29th, 30th, 31st. It's going to be reduced volume, reduced volatility. What ends up happening this week is a lot of professional money managers bid the market up. I explained that before, and one person commented after, holy crap, it actually happened. But it makes sense. If you're $1 billion fund spending a couple $1 million to bid the market up and close it high for the end of the year, so you can send a statement to your investors and say, look how good we did, especially at the end of the year. We got a boost. You get to write a nice note for yourself. That's a couple $1 million spent really well. In my opinion, for a money manager, you're going to attract more and more money for the next year. All right, less redemptions. So you're doing good. You're closing the back door, opening the front door to your fund. It could happen, and it most likely does happen during Christmas. So keep that in mind. It's going to be like a bid. There is tradable opportunity. I just don't want to trade through the holidays. I never do. All right, this is a great time that if you've worked hard all year, and I have, to spend it with your family, with your loved ones, and to make some memories happen. Okay, so that's kind of a preview of the holiday calendar. I'll set it for you next Monday for sure, so you guys know for me my participation in morning market updates in the trading room, so you know what the deal is, because I won't know until next Monday when I'm gonna hit the drive. All right, love you guys so much. I hope that was helpful for you. Watch the market. I'm looking for a bid that sustains above 6,900 to prove to me it's a real deal today. If not, I'm gonna trade it more careful within the inside of the range, and the inside of the range is the overnight is inside of yesterday's or Friday's U.S. session. The adjustment there is you can be long, you can be short. Just don't hold it for too long, because we are range bound. Any opportunity you get, you might want to lock some contracts in and then convert it to a runner if you want. But for goodness sake, make your initial target be lower so you get paid quicker. All right, it's the way to survive these kind of environments. All right, chains always in the trunk, right? That's so smart, Pentro. Honestly, man. I would love to go that route and throw some chains in the trunk, and I just might. You get some more traction on the rear wheel for sure, but I still might avoid the mountains. It adds 3 hours to my trip, and it is a significant amount. But going down the west side, like the 75 over the 95, it's more flat. No elevation. But anyways, we'll see what I do. I got a fun content idea planned during this trip. If I can pull it off, it'll be hilarious for YouTube. If not, I'll just focus on driving. Love you guys. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to see you tomorrow. And let's go in the trading room. Whoever is part of the trading room, we'll see you there. You guys take care of yourself. Hope you had a great weekend, but it's work time. Let's get to work, and I'll see you tomorrow at 9 a.m. or in the room right now if you're part of our TRADEPRO Elite package. Take care, guys. Love y'all. and wish you the best. Bye.